So I'm not sure what's making it, but you see how that post is all chewed up? There has been chewing noises in the shelter pretty much all night. And that combined with the traffic noise, I actually had to put my earplugs in. So I'm trying to catch up on the edits because I got back to Dory's so late, I didn't get anything done. And I decided to make a third cup of coffee because, helps me work and all. And I apparently needed it because while I was boiling water, I opened the packet, set it out, and then promptly started cleaning up and threw the packet away and had to make another. There are glorious clouds. It has been raining off and on, and there is a very angry hawk who did not like when I stepped out of the shelter. In addition to the traffic noise from the road out there, there was something that was it sounded like chewing on wood nonstop. I actually got concerned and I was about ready to move my tent out of the shelter. They tend to be, collectors for mice and things. They weren't chewing on the tent or anything, my food was secure. So I just stuck in my earplugs and that made for a much nicer night. Those loop earplugs were some of the best investments I've made for this trip, along with the AirPods. So I'm just finishing up my catch-up edits because I was like 3 episodes behind, and then Mike is meeting me at the end of the driveway here in another 30 minutes or so. At least for the moment, the forecast is just for rain and clouds, which is pretty much ideal. Should cool off a little bit, but sunshine to tornadoes. That is an interesting statement. That seems kind of like, oh yeah, don't worry about sharks in the water, but if you see a shark, call me right away. So I am normally, amongst other quirks, disinclined to getting rid of gear, sending gear ahead, things like that. I generally like having a stable kit, and it's not worth trying to game things. However, with the outlook for the next couple of months, I hike with a fleece jacket and a light puffy. And they're not getting much use, and I'm not sure they're going to get much use. I might send one of those up ahead to my parents since I'll see them in 1,000+ miles. That privy had a dirty trick. There was a bottle of what looked like hand sanitizer. Granted, it said soap, but I made an assumption, and you know what they say about assumptions. So I ended up with my hands completely slimed with soap and had to use my drinking water to wash them off. Just glad I had drinking water left. So this is right on the trail. I will be back here in however many hours. It is nice that Mike was willing to come get me and run me back out. Otherwise, I would have stopped in just to see it, but I would have camped out in the woods somewhere and probably not gotten as early of a start. I am behind on edits again. I could do without the mosquitoes, but the weather is looking much more amenable to hiking at the moment. The only thing I worry about is if any of those severe lightning storms get in the area. I'm not screwing around with walking across fields if that happens. I'll find a thing of trees like that and just go to ground. Because Jen would be highly annoyed if she got out here and found out I'd been, killed 2 weeks ago. And 8:45, and I am back. Far more cheerful. Mike showed up and brought me more coffee, so I have had a lot of coffee at the moment. I checked the forecast as I was leaving the shelter, and it looks like there is a big storm in Cincinnati headed this way, but it's not going to hit until 9:40, 10 o'clock, something like that. If it's close, sometimes I'll hold and just kind of wait it out. But honestly, the advantage of anything like the heat wave is whenever there's a change, even if it's would normally be a pain, like, hiking in the rain. It's such a relief. You can deal with it for a while. So this part of the trail is one of those odd little dips that goes out of the way. And it seems like most folks, and Mike confirm this, shortcut it various ways. But this is actually one of the nicer roads in this entire county. It's basically just a single lane, but really nice and quiet. As long as a pack of pit bulls don't come out of that house, that is. And it looks like I'm about to get popped in the teeth here. The storm has not fizzled, and I am hearing thunder off ahead and seeing lightning come down. There have been some big bolts over there. You can actually see the front coming straight at me. I just got a warning about heavy rain starting in about 10-15 minutes. Yeah, discretion over valor here. I'm gonna bridge troll it. So lightning safety, you're supposed to avoid shallow caves because of ground current, but as far as I know, this is probably the best option I got here. I was just texting with Jen, you can hear the thunder, and I was saying, yeah, I probably should have just held at the shelter, but I was under miles yesterday. And you never know, these often go like when they get to me. This is also just a storm front, so it's hitting me in about 6 minutes, and then probably have a little while to wait till it gets by, and then I should be good. Interestingly enough, I was looking up something on tornado safety because, you know, get in the bathtub, get in the basement doesn't really work when you're hiking. And I had always thought that, oh, you go under one of these if there's a tornado. And it turns out that's actually not true. That actually makes it worse because you have debris going through like a limited area. And it seems like people all think that because there was a video a lot of us saw in like the late 80s, early 90s that had some people in cars going out under one of these and like a tornado passing right over them. In actuality, you are supposed to basically get in a ditch and cover. That way the debris goes over the top of you. However, I was watching this documentary, and apparently if there are sharks in the tornado, that will not save you. And here we go. This is seriously the best timing since that whole Wolfman of Helltown incident on the AT. Well, damn, I thought it was over. Started to get light, but it's dark again. I'm basically sitting here till it stops. Unfortunately, I have no internet down here, so I can't see the radar. Good to be a bridge troll. So I feel really good about my timing here because being out and no cover in that would have not been great. But if I sit around here any longer, I am going to fall asleep. So time to get moving in the drizzle. So I still have some thunder off in the distance, but looks like it's all past me. And I am feeling really good about that interlude. Jen and I managed to hide under a bridge on the AT at one point when it just dumped on everybody. But there was a homeless guy that may have been this one that was going on about how he had murdered through hikers and things like that. So this was far calmer. Once again, kind of negated the whole get moving early thing, but oh well. Had a bit of rain come down there for a while. Makes me crave chocolate milk. Oh, hey there. Oh, Jen would be happy. Note to self, try and avoid telling the nice Amish guy if he has a phone he can take a picture of your pack and follow your journey. At least I think he was some sort of Amish based on the dress and everything, but drove up in a tractor so I didn't notice it at first. The barn over there has the cart and buggy logo though, and I caught sight of his wife or somebody in the more traditional clothes. Kind of wonder what it must look like under my bridge right now. This was not flowing this hard. It came down hard for better part of an hour. I decided to come back over and hit the privy one more time as long as I'm walking past. There was a lot of water that came down. So I'm gonna go fill up my water at Mike's, maybe plug in my phone for a couple of minutes, and then see how far I can get this afternoon. Okay, chug some water, talk to Mike a little more. Sounds like after the next town, it's kind of a rural area. Sounds like I might have to be on the watch out for dogs again. And then East Fork, which says most people are usually trying to aim for East Fork from here because it's another one of those wildernessy areas. Apparently the east side is pretty muddy, pretty rough, stream crossings, things like that. So I might have another fun time in store. In 11 miles where I could turn off into Mount Orb, or Ab, however you say it, there is a restaurant. I am tempted to stop in and get food, but that didn't really work out for me yesterday. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to end up tonight, but there is a trail angel up in Williamsburg that has been contacting me for a while. Apparently has a shed out back with some bunk beds, and they're willing to come get me at whatever time. So I may just be doing Trail Angel Shuffle again tonight. Try and push it as close to East Fork as I reasonably can overnight there, and then back out in the morning. 15 minutes ago it was raining on me, and now the sun's out. Gotta love Ohio weather. And Taters would love the little cows. I was wishing she was with me on the get last year. I kept running into ones that had just been dropped, like they couldn't even stand. And she just came up and scared the ever-living crap out of me, but just said I was welcome to go enjoy their creek. Don't know who those dogs belong to. Uh-oh. That almost looks like a painted over blaze. Oh, so I get for ignoring a no outlet sign, huh? And welcome to New Hope. So there's weather in the area, but it looks like it's all staying south of me for now. Looks like they're having a lot of fun down there. And welcome to Mount Oreb. Since I'm anticipating meeting a trail angel tonight, I'm gonna skip. I think that's the restaurant straight ahead, and just try and knock out as many miles as I can. So it does look like there's another storm front headed this way, but it's a thin one. I'll probably be on my way to the Trail Angels by then, but it looks like it's going to be an unsettled night. Maybe not the worst time to be under a roof. Getting picked up here pretty quick. Not a lot of camping options here, unless I met somebody. So that was nice. The guy on foot actually chased me down to give me a water bottle. I must have been hiking kind of fast. He was breathing pretty hard when he got me. If I didn't have a place to stay tonight, I probably would have tried to work that. And I've got a cozy little backyard cabin thing here, which is nice because the electrical storm has started. So Tammy reached out and said she was happy to come pick me up near Williamsburg, and they had this little shed in the back, and again, unique experiences. So they came and got me right before the storm hit. It has been all sorts of electrical activity out there. Not a bad night to be undercover. And they made me Korean beef for dinner. I'm beat. I did get a good solid day in. Tomorrow they have some things going on in the morning, so I'll get a ride back to trail around 9 or so. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, and I get into East Fork, which allegedly is going to be muddy. Everybody seems to say that about that place, so I'm sure it's going to be a fun couple of days. Home sweet home. This weekend, Jen was co-leading another wilderness travel course experience trip to the San Jacinto mountain range. She was actually the evaluator for another leader who was trying to get his leader rating. Unfortunately, between the big group and some complications they ran into, she didn't have a ton of time to film.